it from our actual page. So let's go to the page, and who is the handler? In our case, this is the component, right? Add user in database. This will be called when add user message is coming. Whenever user message will happen, we will call add user into database. And this add user in database is getting that message and then user object. And basically, currently it is just doing. So basically, it is doing two things, right? Add to store and publish. So it is doing currently adding to the store and then publishing it, right? So instead of that, we want to make the call. Make server call on success call this function, and then fail call, let's say this function where I'm just doing console log, right? And in order to make our call, what I need first, in order to this line, what I need here, I need URL first. Which URL you want to post, correct? So if you see in the server side, we need to know which is the port. So we just created a port number and we exported it as a module so that you can use it everywhere. So let's go to the client side, and here I can create my port here itself. I'll say my URL is, I'll say constant. We can call it like base API URL or something like that, right? Where it is hard coded basically. And there we can say HTTP localhost and colon HTTP. Thank you. HTTP. Correct. And then colon, here we need the port number, and I can hard code, but I don't like to hard code, so I'll take it from the one place so that I don't repeat. So I can import it from here, right? And then we'll say slash API slash, and after that you can use it either it is user or so whichever handler can use it. Add user into database, delete user will take this base URL and append with delete, and so on. So now we can use, I need a URL that I get it. Next I need jQuery to post. So I'll take the jQuery, import star as jQuery from you can put any name as Anusha or as Pandana, whatever name. This name is optional, and then you can say post. So you know, right? When you do as, you can put whatever you wish, whichever name I can put here.
Oh, I told if we write dollar, it will be easy for us.
Exactly. Let's do that. This is good. And then post. What is the first parameter in the post? URL. And we will build URL here. We'll say, let me build like this with the string interpolation, base URL, and then I'll add user. So it will build the entire API URL that we were posting from the postman. Where is my postman? This entire URL will be built. So I get my post, and then second parameter is what I want to send?
Request.
Yeah, and then in the request, what I want to send?
Data.
What is the data? User. And from where we are getting this user? From the message, add user message. It is sending the user data and that message itself, right? So again, you see this is a handler, add user handler, right? So my question is, base API URL and add user handler, are they same concern? Are they changed for the same reason? If you want to save it here, let's say here, if I want to change the user instead of some different name, let's say contact or something, does this base API change? No, right? And if I change base URL, does this guy change? Because you are just using, so it is safely, it can go outside, right? This is a separate concern, so we can just get it outside and put it some common location, because it is a stable thing. It never changes mostly, right? Unless you change anything drastically. I can call it what? I can call it I can just create a URL, or I can create my app label settings, right? And I can put all of the settings here one by one. Like this is one of them. So this is my setting, and then I can import it from there. Instead of base API URL directly, I can get it from the setting. And now I am little bit lightweight here. I don't own that concept. Yeah. Port is correct. So I import that port also. So whichever you do not own, you just ask somebody. Port you do not own here. Your concern is to build the URL only, API URL. Now this guy is not knowing what is base API. He is saying I need it, and then I make a post. After that, I'll say on whenever it is done, I need to call this guy. I don't need to call it now. And whenever it is fail, I need to call the fail guy. Correct? So on fail basically. Any questions so far? So we did jQuery post user and then on success call this, where we are doing local adding to the store and publishing the message. Okay, right. So let's do that. Now we can see our client side is compiling or not first before we go and run that. This was our client side, right? It is now compiling successfully, I guess. Yeah, it refreshed, right? So let's do F12 so that we see what is going on. Open the console. And I can put something here and then submit. It got added, right? Without any error. So why it got added? Because done is called, and then there is some error is coming, right? Access origin principal error. So do you know what is this error? Oh, see, it was still not compiled. I thought because exception came, right? It should not add. So see, it is coming here, and then it made the call. So if you go to network, you should see whether as our XHR failed or passed. This one, right? It is not done yet, I think, right? So is error shown, and then if you run where it is going, if I put either success or fail, right? Some anyone it will happen, and it is failed, correct? And why it is failed? If I do F5, I'll see the message why it is failing. This is that access to XML HTTP request to this API from origin this has been blocked because of the common origin resource principle, right? Resource principle. Do you know what is this course policy error? Have you ever heard that? No. So this is good thing. Two different port numbers. Exactly. This is two different port number. That is the one thing. So what happens is if you are running a website on 4200 and you are trying to post something in different port number or different website, you cannot do that. That's what the policy of ECMAScript blah blah that we know, right? ECMAScript or origin. So in the website there is a policy that, and why they have created this policy? Suppose you have a page, your own company website, right? And in that company website, if tomorrow somebody else will just put their own widget and they start posting the data directly to your website, it is a security hack, right? Suppose tomorrow in your blog there are many web advertise comes, right? In those advertise, if they can just make a post directly to your website, they can hack your database, they can get your data, post the data. So two different website you cannot make a get post, two different domain. If the domains are different, they have created the policy that you cannot make a post and call. You cannot take their data and mess up with their data because those two are different company, they don't have different domains. Domain means this URL. So see here, localhost are same, but still the port numbers are different. So that is what this is called. This is the cross origin principle. Like origins are different, and you cannot cross them basically, and you cannot share their resources. Cross origin resource principle. It is access control allow origin. So the one option is if your server will allow, then yes, because now you are trying to post to this guy, right? This user, and if this server is saying, okay, I am open, anyone can post me, anyone can get my data, then it is okay, right? So you can do that. So what you can do is you can go to your server and you can say just allow access for anyone to post me. That you will not do actually in your project. When you are doing production project, you will not do like that. But here, since we are doing workshop, we can become more liberal and do that. So if you just research in Google that allow access origin in Express.js, then you should find some way to do that, right? Like using codes in Express, and there are some ways to do that. So basically, you have to create your new header, and in that header, you need to say that I want to allow access control allow origin, and then you can put the URL that okay, for 3200 I am allowing it, or you can say I am allowing for all of them. You can put asterisk. If you want to filter some of the URL, you can filter it. Are you getting it?
Yes.
Yeah. This URL is your client URL that you want to allow them to post me from the cross origin principle. So this way you can add them. I don't think this website is good.
What if you don't want to change the? What if you don't want to access anything from anyone? We can keep both ports same.
Both ports same, but you cannot run two process on the same port, right? Since client is running, also server is running, they will clash. They will say this port is already in use, right? If you need, imagine this is like two different process running, right? So in actual situation, client process will be running in the client machine, and this will server process will be running in the server machine. So they are actually different.
Can we import that port number into the server? Say this is my. You can.
Import export is not. So import export you can do. You can definitely in the client project you can import the same port number. But when you run that, when you say Webpack run it, Webpack will say this port number is already in use. And I showed you that error address in use.
Using the same number, we can't get access to
Correct.
both processes. I understand. What if we want to use different numbers, and instead of doing this one, can we just import this port number and say, okay, it is mine? Like we imported jQuery.
Import means here you are saying import. Here this import.
Yeah.
This import is just for the sake of compiling this code. This import is not actually doing something in the server or in the process. It is not doing anything. This import is just saying that I need this body parcel symbol, and from where I'll get it, which module I'll get it, and it will say go to this module and get it. This is it. It is not, I think, helping you to share the port or something like that at runtime. All of these imports are saying is from where I'll get this symbol, user routes. You'll get it from this module. From where I'll get this variable, you'll get it from this one. That's it. I don't think it will allow you to share that, even though you use it, right? And this is practical situation, like if you have iframes in your project and iframe cannot use your other website because they are two different website. So we can add the access origin here, and see, this is the way you can add it. So you'll say response dot header, and then in the response of object there is a header property, and inside the header you can add the header object, and in the header object you can add multiple key value pairs. The response object has also header. Like I said, the get the post object which is coming, the request object. Request is a message. It has header and body. And what information we put in header? Some of the extra metadata. For example, cookies, whether this guy is already authenticated or not. Those kind of data you put in header. So similarly, in the response message also you have header and you have body. In the body you put your user and send it to the response to the client. Similarly, in the header you can put some other message and send it to the client. So I can put access control allow origin, and I can put anybody. I can say allow anyone. and that is good. And you can do this way also, and then say allow everyone. So let me call this, right? So what I'll do here is, and since again it is a middleware that we are using it, we are saying I'll get a request, and then response, and next. So whenever you're writing middleware, make sure you are calling the next, otherwise it will stop that pipeline. And then here we can add that, we can say response dot header. IntelliSense is not coming, so let me just write this response dot header, and then key value pair. And it was suggesting right in the error somewhere, this guy, right? So it is saying no access control allow origin header is present on the requested resource. So I am now adding it now. So here we are saying allow the origin control, access control allow origin. For which origin we are allowing? For now we are saying just two for all. For anyone for now. I can put that, but if I change my port, then again I have to come here and change the port. So for now, for simplicity, I can just say like that. And then if my server is compiling, I should be able to post now. And you are good, right? So now you see user is coming from server and it is added. And if you see, it is added in our UI as well. So this is what I was asking for you guys to do that. This exercise will help you to build your concept how actually I make complete post. So you know this is now required to allow other port number to make HTTP call, right? And this body parser, we know why we need it. Body parser will help to read the body from request message and put it in Express.js request body object, right? This is what it will do. Otherwise, it will not work. And similarly, and then after that, we are not doing anything waste or good. We added our own route, user routes. Any question? So this is good, right? This you understood? This is important. So we saw that this is important. You allow access thing, and then second thing is body parser, and then we added our route. Go back to the route. What we did here in the route, we are saying anytime we come user, there are get and post, and the get I can just return now. I can get we can change this get also a little bit more fancy, and rather than just returning get success, I can say request dot params dot, let's say what, call it user id. You can pass user id, and then you can fetch it from your db dot user list dot filter dot user slash user dot equal to user id. Shall I do is equal to or triple, and then dot pop. It will give you constant user, and then I can return user. So I can say response dot send user. Instead of send, I can also use, you are expert now, and this db I can fetch it, right? So I'm not doing this now because I do not have a UI to just fetch it, but I'm just showing you that how it is simple. Just keep it any for now. So this is what you could do. You keep doing like this, right? Get, add, update, delete, all of that.
Can you show me the output actually?
Which output?
Like just now you told it was making a call.
I didn't get you.
Till now you made a call to add user.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see that. So add user we did from Postman and we saw that it is working, right? We get that response. Now let's do from the UI here. And here you can say, and then we'll make a post. So it will come here, right? First submit, it comes here. And then we are making base API 3431. And then since we are in 4200, still we are making a call to 43431. And then we are passing this user object. And either it will fail or pass. First time it failed because access origin principle error was coming, and then it should come here. So if I click here, it comes here and then it returns the user. And how it is happening, let's go back to the server and check the server. It is saying, so adding user to database undefined, those are all old messages. Let me go back to the new one. So your server is running and then fetching user from request, and we fetch this user which has Rupesh and last name Tiwari and then ID and all of that. And then we said adding user to database also, and then sending the user. Nice, right? And then here you get that user as a JSON, and then we add it into our local store before we publish